Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Zenaton, and welcome to today's video for Legends of Runeterra. Today, we're going to be looking at a deck that is a fun deck, but in all honesty, I don't think it's that good. But he gets to use a champion that has recently come out. A lot of people think he's not that good, and in my honest opinion, I also think he's not that good. But I think this deck I'll be showing off today has a chance to be good with some fine tuning and maybe one or two buffs or just stronger cards added to it. Today we're going to be looking at Tahm Kench Udyr, an Udyr deck basically. But yeah, Udyr, kind of a bad champion, but we're trying to make him work. We're trying to give him a good deck here. So let's go and look at the deck. Okay, so welcome to the deck. Welcome to Tahm Kench Udyr. Now, why are we playing Tahm and Udyr together? What's the synergy? Well, first off, we're also a Scargrounds deck. So we got that going for us. But we don't really need Scargrounds as hard as other decks that want to play Scargrounds needs their Scargrounds. And that's because we can give our units, for example, we can give Tahm regeneration, thanks to the stances from Udyr. That is why we are playing Udyr in the stances. To give regeneration to our units. And then in the late game, after we've had our Scargrounds on the field, giving buffs, we'll give a unit that's really big, overwhelm, and win the game that way. That is the game plan. And then while we're doing all this, we'll have Tahm just consuming enemies, eating enemies, and trying to control the board that way. Mammoth Shaman's just a big unit that can just end the game on its own because of how big it gets so quickly. So yeah, I actually think there might be something here with this deck. It does play a little low power cards that are, in my opinion, not that good, but are just needed because we're not playing a certain region, Targon, for good protection spells. Basically, I'm talking about Elixir of Iron here. I don't think Elixir of Iron is a good card. I think it is an okay filler card, but I wish there was a stronger card we could play, a more high impact card than this, but we got to play it. Like, I'd rather just play more Troll Chance, but we can't play more. But yeah, the problem with this deck, I'd say, is really Udyr. Udyr is just so slow. A lot of times you only really need one stance anyway, and here's the thing. Vulpine Wanderer kind of does that for you. Vulpine Wanderer is a 2-man 2/2, and that's a fine stat line for a 2-drop. Not great, don't get me wrong, but a 2-2 for 2 is okay. Look at Pharaoh's Financier and Conchologist, 2/2s that give you some kind of flexibility. That's what Vulpine Wanderer does. And that gives you a stance already, and then if you want the stance, you don't need to play Udyr. You just play Vulpine Wanderer, and you could play some better champ. But I do think this is one of the decks that it wouldn't just be better by removing Udyr and replacing Udyr with, say, Gnar. A lot of Udyr decks I've looked at, like, I don't know, let's take an example. Udyr Galio. A lot of Udyr decks like that, in my honest opinion, are just playing Udyr to play Udyr. I think they are purposefully hampering themselves just to play Udyr when it would be better and stronger for that deck to take out Udyr and just add in Gnar. But I think for this deck, Udyr is perfect for the deck purely because of more and more stances. So, but yeah, our game plan with this deck is pretty much mid-range stuff. Get on the board, get a Scargrounds up, and then do standard Scarground things. And then eventually we'll put a stance on one of our units to give it Overwhelm. I think it's Wild Claw stance is the Overwhelm one. Yeah, and then maybe a Boar stance on Tahm to give him regen. And we go from there and just win the game. That is the game plan. Little clunky and kind of slow, but when it works, it's extremely powerful. Anyway, though, what are the cards in this deck? Let's talk about that really quick, because we've talked about the deck as well. We've talked about the overall strategy, but let's talk about why certain cards are in this deck and other cards that I've considered in this deck but don't play. So, 3 Elixir of Irons. I'm not the biggest fan of this card, but I think we just need this to have our stuff stay alive. I've considered Brittle Steel over this. I'm not a fan of Brittle Steel. One of the early units that you want to beat in combat at the moment is Petricide Broadwing. Brittle Steel doesn't do anything to Broadwing. Elixir of Iron tries its best to keep your stuff safe from Broadwing, so I like this over Brittle Steel. And against other decks, I think it's just better too. It helps keep your Tom alive, your Ember Maidens, Udyr as well for 1 mana. Next up, Three Sisters. We're running all 3 copies of it. It's just too good in the current meta, I think. Some decks I only like to play 2 Three Sisters, but I think 3 is good for this deck. The Flash Freeze is really nice. Fury is good too to just give yourself a little health. And Entomb, because of the Obliterate, is really nice against Papercraft Dragons and attached decks in general. Unscarred Reaver. I'm not sure about this card. I've thought about like just not playing this card at all, playing like anything else. I've thought about like more Ember Maidens, more Ice Shards, Blighted Ravines, Crackshot Corsairs. Mostly playing it because I want at least a couple of 1-drops so I can have the curve of 1-drop into Croaker as an option so I can try and find a Scargrounds that much faster. And Unscarred Reaver, while not great, it's okay for a Scargrounds deck. It does get fairly big and with a Scargrounds on the field, and it's a pretty okay target for stances, but there's not really another 1-drop I would like, and I would definitely want this unit to be a 1-drop, this card to be a 1-drop. Like Corsair's okay, it helps you get more pings on the enemy stuff, but that's not that great. We only really have Merkwolf Shaman, which is just a card I'm trying out, and the Mammoth Shamans, that's only really 3 cards I care about pings to face. But yeah, like nothing else really here. Like Omen Hawk's cool. Like I like Omen Hawk, but it's not really that great of a card for Scarground decks. We really just want a 1-drop that has at least 2 health so it can survive 1 hit. So that's not really, there's not really anything else. Like Shell Shocker would be okay to consider too because of the attune, because it's a 1, if it was a 1/2, but it's not. So we go with Unscarred Reaver. I could even see you going up to 3, but I like 2 at the moment. I'm not a big fan of this card. Next up, Bone Scryer. Really like this card. It's just a fairly good card in Scargrounds. Like, the card itself is not that good outside of Scargrounds, but it is a very powerful Scargrounds card, which is fine for a card. It's a card that's very, very specialized, and that is all you really need. Basically, it is, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Like, they're all the Crimson stuff. It's not Crimson Curator. I want to say it's Crimson Disciple, I think, is the 2/3. That's basically just Bone Scryer, but with a different stat line. But yeah, it's basically a Crimson Disciple with a stronger stat line. It could be Crimson Aristocrat. I don't remember, but you know the card I'm talking about. It's an old card. And yeah, that better stat line is, or that higher health pool, better allocated stat line is just great for a Scargrounds deck. And if you have a Scargrounds, this card turns into a real menace. Next up, 3 Fortune Croakers, just some cycling here. That's really it. We're not playing Avarosan Sentry, so we want some cycling, and that's the Croaker. Helps you get tough on your units as well once you have a Scargrounds out, so we play all 3 of them. 3 Troll Chance. This is one of the best cards in Freljord, so we're going to play 3 of them. And it does help keep our stuff alive, and it's really nice if you don't have a Scargrounds to help your Tom Kench out. 3 Vulpine Wanderers, pretty much letting you get a stand swap early on. This gives you a lot of flexibility in your next few turns. You could play on curve Ice Shard if you wanted to do that. Turn 2 Wanderer, turn 3 stance swap into Ram Stance, I believe, is the Ice Shard stance. That's pretty good against some of the more aggressive decks. You could also just hold it until you play a new Udyr to get a free stance swap. That's very powerful too. For example, let's say you have, like, you get to turn 5 and you have, I don't know, the stance from Vulpine Wanderer and 1 spell mana banked. You play the 0 mana stance swap on Udyr for Boar Stance? Yeah, Boar Stance to give him regen, so he's a 4/6 for 5 mana with regen. Your opponent tries to kill him, and then you play Elixir of Iron. Pretty good turn. And then you have a Udyr who's actually got a good stat line and a good keyword, because it'll be a 4/6 regen. But yeah, Vulpine Wanderer, just great card, great versatility for it. 2 Ember Maidens. Not sure about this card. I could see myself cutting this. It just, for me, like, whenever I play a Scargrounds deck, I always like to at least have 2 Ember Maidens in the deck. If this was the old meta with Ari Kennen, I'd probably even consider 3, but Ari Cannon's pretty much gone, so I'm only playing 2, and that's actually why I could see myself cutting this completely, because there's no Ari Cannon. But it's still just such a strong card when you get a Scargrounds Ember Maiden combo up, being able to ping everything on your side, giving everything a Scargrounds activation, and just slowly chipping away at your opponent's board. It's great synergy. 2 Ice Shards up next. Again, similar to Ari Cannon, if there were more just smaller, low health units that were just annoying, I would play more of these and play all 3 copies. But I am only going to play 2 of them because I think there just aren't enough. And it's still solid, though, with Scargrounds, and it pings your opponent's Nexus, which does matter for a couple of our units here. 3 Tavern Keepers. I just like 3 Tavern Keepers. I like to play 2 to 3 Tavern Keepers in a lot of the Freljord decks I play nowadays because Gnar Ziggs is really scary, and Noxus burn decks, aggro decks with Decimate are just really, really annoying. So I like to play 2 to 3 Tavern Keepers. So we're playing all 3 of them. Because it also has good synergy for the deck outside of just healing our Nexus. We can heal things like Tom or Udyr before they get regen. And then 3 Scargrounds. There's not much to talk about with Scargrounds. We're a Scargrounds deck. We play all 3 Scargrounds because we really want to draw 1 Scargrounds. I feel like another card, a theoretical card that would be good for this deck, is a card that lets you discard excess cards, like a Spacey Sketcher or something like that, or a Rummage. Because drawing a Scargrounds after you've played 1 Scargrounds is pretty bad. But it's not the worst, of course, in case your opponent just gets rid of it with like a Comet or something. 1 Merkwolf Shaman. I'm not sure about this card. I like this card a lot. It's like it's been a favorite of my cards since the expansion released. Don't really see too many people playing this. I just really, really like this card. If you're able to flip it and turn it into a Merkwolf Rager, you get both. You get to draw a card, draw a unit only specifically, but then you get basically a Garen, a 5/5 with regen, and that a 5/5 with regen is really, really tough to actually kill. So I like this. I could even see myself playing 2 of these or none of these, but I've just been trying this out and it feels strong, but 3 health is a little low for a 4 drop, and having to hit the Nexus is a little tough. 3 Toms, 3 Udyrs. There's not really another champ we would like with this deck. Maybe Braum. Braum's kind of nice with Scargrounds, but we're just trying to get the Tom Udyr game plan going, having Tom swallow the units and just control that hard is our game plan. And Udyr giving some nice support. And our last couple of cards, 2 Mammoth Shamans. Even without any support, this guy is just a solid win con. When he flips, he turns into a 6/6, which is technically an 8/8 because round start grant me 8 or +2/+2, so it'll be an 8/8 at minimum when he gets his first attack. It's pretty strong. And it could be a little hard to kill too after your opponent spent time killing things like Tom, Udyr, Scargrounds units through your Troll Chance and your Elixir of Irons, and then Mammoth Shaman will just end your opponent on its own. And it gets even better if you give him regen or something else. 1 Shaman's Call as well, just a little extra top end here over the 3rd Mammoth Shaman. I really like this card too. It's just a solid card. Could see myself playing 2, but if I were to cut out the Merkwolf Shaman, I'd probably play a 2nd Shaman's Call, but I wouldn't want to play too many of these things because they can brick. Anyway, though, that's pretty much it for the deck. Really fun deck. Again, I don't think it's strong at the moment, but it's definitely fun. And if you just want to play Udyr in a deck where Udyr actually feels like he's doing something instead of just feeling like you'd be better off playing Gnar, this is definitely a solid choice for a deck. So let's go and take it for a spin on ladder. Okay. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea what I'm against. I like the hand though. Pretty strong hand here. I'm gonna keep it all, in fact. I found a Scargrounds, I've got a Tom, I've got a Vulpine Wanderer, sounds good. But yeah, Teemo Gnar. Is this just gonna be some puff cap deck that's playing Gnar instead of Caitlyn? Because that's all I can think of. I'm assuming I'm going to get puff capped, which is gonna be sad because I'll just lose to Karina then. Also, I don't really have an answer to Teemo until turn 3 at the earliest. Unless I draw an Ice Shards. But if they have a turn 1 Teemo, I'm screwed. At least it's not a turn 1 Teemo. Okay, so yeah, this is fine. This is fine. We've got an on-curve Ice Shards in theory with Vulpine Wanderer here. The problem is they're a Mystic Shot deck. Hello, Reaver. They are a Mystic Shot deck, and Mystic Shot, and, well, just killing the unit that's getting targeted by stance swap will stop the stance, so it would stop the ram stance. That's good. As long as they don't go too quick, I like this. I just need them to slow down as much as possible, and I'm in a good spot. Hopefully their turn 3, they just open attack here so I can develop a Scar Grounds. I'd love to draw a Troll Chant or an Elixir of Iron. I'm going to block this, because the 2-1 will just die to my Ember Maiden anyway. Might be incorrect to do that, but I think this is better. Like, they'd still get the mana anyway if I let them strike, so we're just going to do this. I hope they don't play Aftershock for some reason. No. Okay, thank God it's just Pokestick. But yeah, if I can draw a Troll Chant here, I'm happy. If I don't have a Troll Chant here, I'll be honest with you, I don't know where I'm going from here. Why are we playing Clump of Wumps main deck? I guess we are just a tough cap deck with Gnar instead of Caitlyn. Yeah, I'll start with the Unscarred Reaver to try and bait them into playing like a 4-drop or something. They do have 4-drops in that deck. Chump Wump, I guess. But yeah, this is looking a little scary. In other words, I'm pretty sure my Ember Maiden's going to die to a Mystic Shot. If they pass, I pass, by the way. They actually did it. They actually played Clump of Wumps. That's nuts. I didn't think they would do that. That's actually so good. I get some nice Scarground triggers here. Yeah, this is good. And there's the second Scargrounds. That's bad. Yeah, this is bad. Like, I could play Tom. So here's the problem. I'm pretty much activating their Gnar for them, thanks to Ember Maiden anyway. Well, no, actually it doesn't. It has to be you've damaged the enemy Nexus. Okay, that's fine. I don't think my opponent should attack here, by the way. They should not attack at all. Troll Chant's too scary for them. Well, maybe they have to. Yeah, maybe they have to attack, but Troll Chant's so terrifying. So would that... It feels like they're stalling. So I'm going to trade off my Reaver here for this. And it feels like they're stalling, so I'm going to just do this block as well. Like... I'm making a read here, and that is they don't have Mystic Shot. And it paid off. Also, because of how Quick Attack works, Tom killed Gnar. That's great. Because if you don't realize how that interaction works, Quick Attack unit strikes first, Scar Grounds will trigger, and then my Tom will strike back. Okay, so I can get a free regen on Tom. I like that idea. I'm going to just start with an open attack, see what they do in response here. They just take 9. Good, good. But yeah, Udyr. Udyr's going to try his hardest here. Also, I like Ember Maiden too because she helps out Udyr level up. Udyr level up's not that great, but hey, it's more stats for Udyr, which just makes him harder to deal with. Alright, come on, Tom. Pokestick face, sure, that's fine. Thankfully, they haven't played a... I can't remember his name. The old guy, the 3-minute 3/3 who puts puff caps in your deck every time you cast a spell. They haven't played one of those. Merchant of Clumps. I can't remember his name. Can't believe I can't remember that guy's name. But yeah, they haven't played that guy or Teemo, so we've got no puff caps, so I'm not worried about Karina. That's fine. We'll just lose our Shaman. That's actually even better. You just gave me a good card. And we'll give our Tom regen. I'm also not going to I'm not going to have Tom eat this. Poison Dart Face. Okay, you know what? Because they're down to 1 mana, I'll have Tom eat this. They can't play Teemo here because Ember Maiden would kill Teemo. And this guy has regen now, so we can do this. Might as well use our mana. Good job, Tom. But yeah, I think we got this. I think we have this. Sure, the Ember Maiden's hurting us a little bit, but between Tom and Bone Scryer and Tavern Keeper, we have this. I don't think I can lose from here. I can heal in case, heal out of burn, like... Ah, that's his name. Puffcap Peddler. I'm eating that. That is a scary unit. I have to eat that. But yeah, I think we've got this. I think we win next turn. I don't think my opponent has any game plan. Like, if they spend their time casting Mushroom Clouds, we just kill them on the open attack. And GG.
The gods have spoken.
What? What is this? Okay. Rumble... Sion? I'm going to just throw everything away. I've got so much early game, I'm not even going to keep the Wanderer. I just want to find a Scargrounds here, and maybe a Tom. Okay, good. We found the Scargrounds. But yeah, the Rumble Sion. It's not that it's a meme, it's just, it feels like it's a worse deck than anything else you could play. Like, I feel like there are better, thank you for passing. I feel like there are better Rumble decks, like Rumble Draven, if you want to play that style with the burn. And if you want to play Sion, I think Sion Draven's better. So, don't get me wrong, I could still lose. Oh, are we Mecha Yordles? Never mind. That might actually change things. So this one gives Spell Shield, right? Yeah, this is the one that gives Spell Shield, Fallen Rider, yeah. So it's just the discard shenanigans, but with a Mecha Yordle package, I guess. Really hope they don't just play, yeah, him. Grenadier, Sion, and Lost Soul. That's a problem. That's a very big problem. How much damage is that? 5, 8, 11.
Fire knows its own.
Can I really take all of this damage is the thing. Wait, 12? Oh yeah, impact. I think I can. They're not PNZ, so I'm not worried about Mystic Shot. I'm just trying to think, do I want to freeze anything? Do I want to Troll Chant anything? I don't think so. I think I'll just take it. And then maybe like a Tavern Keeper Croaker turn here? So I think Bone Scryer is actually nicer. So yeah, we'll start with the Bone Scryer.
Elk's bones speak.
I don't know, I might have just got him run over. Like, that's a problem with the deck. Scargrounds has always done this. 3 mana do nothing for the turn. It's just so bad.
This'll take the chill off.
I hope my opponent's not playing Flock, though. If they're playing Flock, I'm really screwed. This is good. This is good. Alright, so I'm in an okay spot, I think. That helps a lot. But yeah, with Wanderer, Croaker, Troll Chant, and 3 Sisters here, I think we're in a good spot. If they just attack like that, Trumpet Attacker is fine. I'm just gonna... I'm gonna play this, I think, on this? That might not be correct, but I think it might be. Another Wanderer. Okay, so here's the game plan. I'm going to troll chant this. Popping the spell shield on this? And this should, in theory, kill... Oh, wait, no, because of... Oh, I did mess this up.
I've carved meat bigger than you.
I could freeze this. I just want to react to their stuff. And Ember Maiden will kill these two. So no, I didn't mess up, yeah. I'm just going to freeze in response. Cool. Alright, so I didn't intend this, but it worked. And I think we've won now because of this. Ember Maiden will clean up this. We've still got a board, and in fact, because we did the line of play we did, I think I've got a better board now? Like, these will die. Because Ember Maiden goes through Spell Shield. And we can hit him for 9? That'll be 10. Wait, so this will hit him for 9. 10, 11. So we can bring him down to 3? That's fine. So 3, 4, 5, 6 in theory?
Our eyes lead to hidden paths.
Let's try again.
Show them where their spells can help.
We're just gonna pass for now.
Breathe it
So yeah, we can just win right now with stance swap, ram stance, ice shards. I considered casting one, so I could cast the other ram stance and then ice shards. That's fine. That doesn't do anything. I will cast one now. I'll cast it on the undamaged one to play around. What's it called? This is basically playing around Flock, Scorched Earth, etc., etc. Sure? Pass? You're dead here if you don't kill my Maiden or Scryer. Yeah, and we're just gonna do this. I'm not gonna do anything. Like, there's no need to do anything. Might? So I win now, right? This should kill him. GG? I wanted to save the ice shards to the last second possible to kill them. Oh boy. Well, you don't see this deck too often. I seem to run into it a decent amount, but I don't know why. I guess it's because I'm still relatively low ranked for the season. But yeah, Azir Irelia, not a deck you see too often anymore. Because it's bad. But I guess if you want to play Pink Region, Ionia, it's an okay choice. I think what's it called is better. Lee Zoe is better. Still though, we're looking pretty bad here. No Scar Grounds. We're just gonna take the 2 if they pass here.
Ready, willing, and learn.
I'm gonna play a Bone Scryer here. Wow, I'm surprised they didn't even attack. If we can get a Scar Grounds, we're not in a terrible spot. I will play this though.
I talk to spirits. These are my rules.
And welcome to the whole reason I like Unscarred Reaver over something like what's it called? Crackshot Corsair. Good Croaker target. But yeah, we're gonna need a not this. Not a Tom, sorry. We're gonna need that. Well, now I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to look at this. I could play Udyr next turn and get a free stance swap while holding up Troll Chant. Here's the problem. Homecoming. What is this? What are you doing here? Defiant Dance? Is that a Defiant Dance? No way you would Defiant Dance here.
Watch your head.
So you'll have a 3-3 and a 2-2 here? That's fine. I'll trade a 2/2 and my 3/2 for your 3/2, your 2 students, in other words.
You'll regret when I lift this.
This is outrage! You
No, I don't want to use that. I want to use this. But yeah, I just like this. This is fine. I'm not even going to use my 0-5 to block the 1/1. I know they have some tricks here, obviously. I don't care. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind. As long as I kill one of the students, that's all I care about. I'm not going to waste a troll chant here. So, I could just play the stand swap now to try and clear the sparring student as well. And I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to... I don't know. That's so... Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll do it. I feel like I'm going to get nopified here, though, but I think this is an okay play. Lead and follow. At least it's not nopify. Well, actually, that's worse. I'd rather they nopify that. And I could play Udyr, but I think Shaman is better. It already has regen. And they don't have Homecoming or Defiant Dance mana up now. And if they play Flawless Duet, I can just do a block with a Shaman here. For 1 mana, they can't kill this. I'll block this. Their Azir's about to level up. I should block the Sand Soldiers now. But yeah, welcome to the problem with the deck. It's the problem with a lot of Scargrounds decks. When you don't draw Scargrounds, it's not that good. It's a huge drop-off, in other words, when you don't have a Scargrounds. Not a bad draw, not a good draw, though. Elixir's a thing. Let's just get Tom out there. That's fine. Worst case scenario, I've got a 2/1 to block that. Defiant. Defiant. Okay. So... how you looking, Azir? You leveled? Yep, you leveled. Kind of feels bad losing to an older deck like this, but I'll be honest with you, it is expected. It's in fact very expected. I could block like this and just get ready to trade off. So they're going to summon 2. This will be a 7/7 when they use their next attack. Ugh. I don't know. I think this is the block. Thankfully, they're not going to attack in with Azir. It's just going to be the student and this charger and 2 sand soldiers. So we'll chump like this, maybe? Yeah. I'll take the 7. I'm not a coward. But yeah, like we're not developing the board that well. I could summon Udyr, but it's not that great. I could summon... yeah, I guess I'll just summon Udyr.
Winter's bones are revealed. The night is long and the darkness returns.
Am I getting Homecoming or another Defiant Dance? Please no. I can't take another tempo hit like that. I mean, this does also show another weakness with the deck. I will gladly pass. But yeah, like seeing our opponent, having your stuff get bounced back to your hand is really, really annoying. 14 cards, no Scargrounds, that's lovely. Yuck.
Greetings. You have seen the omens. Bones I cast, and fearful are the sigils.
All right. How dead am I? Oh, jeez. How dead am I? Don't you emote at me. I have cards, opponent. Okay, I can try to stop this.
From death
So here's the second problem. That's cool. Now what?
Come to aid me in
I don't
my
even think this was the right play,
mammoth.
but I did it anyway.
We will raise the gods.
So, chump you,
Alone in law.
block,
This
block.
is our path.
Mm,
Defend the center.
and then buff you and shrink you. I'm gonna lose Udyr here, though. Wait, they're just gonna blade dance again. Why am I even thinking this hard? Yep, GG. You sure do like your emotes, opponent. Okay, so welcome back to the deck. So we played 3 games with the deck, 2 wins and 1 loss. Basically, it's the curse of Scargrounds decks. When you draw Scargrounds, deck looks strong. When you don't draw Scargrounds, deck looks weak. And that's pretty much what happened. Our 2 wins, we had Scargrounds, and our 1 loss, we didn't have Scargrounds. If we had Scargrounds in that last game, it would have been a much, much different game. All those Blades and Sand Soldiers wouldn't really have meant much against the tough units. We would have actually had time to actually play our stances and set up our regenerating walls. But sadly, we didn't have that. And that's just card games. Sometimes you just get a bad draw. But, you know, that's the thing with card games. When you have a bad draw, how you make that bad draw into a good game is where good players shine and good decks shine. That's why I don't think this is a good deck. When we have a bad draw, this deck does not really have much it can do. Sure, we have game plans against that. When we don't draw Scargrounds, we're like, okay, well, we've got our stances to try and give things regeneration. And our units are relatively high health, and Croakers help cycle, but it's not good enough. We still are just biding time to draw Scargrounds, and like in the last game, we just never found our Scargrounds. Even at the very end, when we were dying, we still hadn't drawn a Scargrounds. Still, though, and that's why I think this deck is not that strong. I think any deck that wants to play Scargrounds is just going to stay weak until either Scargrounds itself gets a buff or something else. And I honestly don't know how to fix it. Like the problem with Scargrounds, that is that if you don't draw Scargrounds, you lose. And even if you draw Scargrounds, sometimes your opponent's deck is so fast you can't actually afford the tempo loss that is playing Scargrounds creates. Like 3 mana do nothing is pretty bad. Maybe if it was like a 3 mana, I'd even take maybe 4 mana, but like 3 mana summon an Unscarred Reaver. Or if that's too strong, make another weaker version of Unscarred Reaver, like weaker Unscarred Reaver. That's a 0/2, so it's a 3 mana. Just keep it what it is now, but add on the line that says summon an Unscarred Reaver. Just to speed up this deck, so it doesn't feel like, okay, I played 3 mana and did nothing this turn. RIP. That's mostly just me complaining because I lost, but whatever. And I like Scargrounds, and it does feel bad that Scargrounds decks just seem to always rotate around Scargrounds, and if you don't draw Scargrounds, the decks suck. But whatever. But yeah, this deck, in our games where we did draw Scargrounds, it felt like the deck was working great. I think it was our first game. We even had an Udyr out. Udyr actually felt like he was doing something. But then in game 3, we had an Udyr, and he just didn't do much in game 3 against the Azir Irelia. He came down, and our opponent didn't even seem to care. They just left him on the field because, in all honesty, I agree with them. Why would you care about Udyr? He's a 5 mana 4/4. Still, though, I would recommend this deck if you're just looking to play Udyr and you're not wanting to play a deck that's just a Gnar deck, but you made it worse by replacing Gnar with Udyr. Because Udyr, I want to say Gnar and Udyr, but Udyr actually feels like he's contributing to this deck's game plan. The problem is the deck's game plan is not as strong as some of the top tier things you could be doing. but it is definitely a deck to keep in mind for the future, for future expansions, future balance patches, because it does feel like there is something here. Maybe someone who's better than me can take this deck and fine-tune it, and it could become a strong tier 2 deck. Anyway, though, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'd love to hear your opinion on it and your opinion on Udyr. Do you think Udyr is actually good and people give him too much of a hard time? Or do you agree with me and think Udyr is kind of just a bad champion at the moment? I'd love to hear your opinion in general. And if you just enjoyed the video in general as well, I'd love it if you could leave a like or a comment down below. It always helps out the channel. And if you guys want to keep up with the Legends of Runeterra content, you can always go and subscribe to the channel as well. Also, if you want to watch me play some Legends of Runeterra, you can go and check me out over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Zenaton, where I stream pretty much every single day. Anyway, though, with that all said and done, thank you all again once more for watching this video, and until I see you guys in the next one, bye!